A rather large theme park here in the UK has permanently closed for the 2025 season and beyond. And as much as it's not too much of a surprise that this was coming, it's so upsetting to see. Due to this park closing, we've now lost one of the funnest water rides in the UK, the best wooden roller coaster in the UK, and one of the few of these in the UK. If you're somehow still unsure of what park I'm talking about, I'm of course talking about Oakwood Theme Park in Wales. Opening in 1987, this park hosted many different rides and attractions, eventually building some large-scale roller coasters such as Speed and Megafobia. And after almost 40 years of operation, our Megaphobias have come true. They are now closing forever. Today we're going to discuss why this has happened and also what could happen to the rides inside the park and just reminisce on what was a great theme park for the UK, even if half the park looked derelict and abandoned. So be sure to watch till the end so you don't miss any of this news. And subscribe if you haven't already. There's going to be loads of new content from the parks when they do open, except from Oakwood, sadly. And that will be all coming very soon, so yeah, subscribe so you can stay tuned for that. So now we are going to have to pay our respects to Oakwood Theme Park. We're going to start with a 3.42 second silence. That's enough. Let's move on. It's history time. As said, Oakwood Theme Park opened in the late 1980s as a very small family park with BMXs, a wooden fort, a 3D style cinema experience show, go-karts and a water chute ride. This is just taken off of Wikipedia, isn't it? The park later incorporated 4 large thrill rides: Megaphobia in 1996, Vertigo in 1997, Drenched in 2002, known as Hydro, and Speed the Gerstlauer Eurofighter in 2006. And that, when it opened, was actually the steepest drop in the UK at 97 degrees. Wow. We're just such a record-breaking country. But during those years of operation, they were bought out by another external company. They had a roll doll area that opened and then had to be rethemed the year after due to copyright. Megaphobia was raved about by fans and enthusiasts alike, so much that they retracked it in 2023. And as of March 4th, 2025, the park is now officially closing. But before we delve deeper into this mystery of why it may have closed, they have written an entire statement, so I think we might find out there. If you go to the Oakwood Theme Park website, the first thing that comes up is just a page that says Oakwood Theme Park to close. Full statement. It's really sad. Although if you go to try and check ticket prices, it says it's coming in 2025. They might need to update that. But this is a statement from the park's owners, Aspro Parks, saying it is with much sadness that we have to announce the immediate closure of Oakwood Theme Park and confirm that the park will not open for the 2025 season. I've seen a bit of confusion online about whether that means just for this year or beyond. Well, obviously they won't be open this year for certain, but it does say immediate closure of Oakwood, and they're confirming it won't be open for this year, so I think it's definitely a goner for good. Following a strategic review of the business, Aspro Parks, owner and operator of Oakwood Theme Park, have reached this difficult decision due to the challenges presented by the current business environment. I told you, we've been seeing this loads at the minute. Attractions industry right now, worldwide, is just dying. All possible avenues have been explored to avoid the closure, and we fully recognise the impact that it will have on the local community and the loss that will be felt as a result. That's the thing, as much as the rides are a big part of it and losing them is going to be really sad, the staff that have lost their jobs, my heart goes out to you. All of the locals who had this as their local theme park and they won't really have a local theme park anymore at all. And just that area in general of Wales probably won't do very well from this. Aspro Parks has invested over 25 million since rescuing the park from being at risk of closure in 2008, so again, been a long time coming, this closure. Refurbishing Megaphobia and ongoing investments, the visitor numbers, despite that, declined, and the financial performance of the park suffered majorly, making further investment unsustainable. And it pretty much goes to say, along with that, the unrelenting economic challenges ahead, like the increasing costs, food and beverage inflation, all that stuff, just even like national insurance thresholds, all of that has impacted this decision. But unfortunately, they can no longer see a sustainable way forward and will seek to improve their other parks using the assets and, where possible, team elsewhere. Yeah, I read that right. I can't do English. And that's a very interesting point because they're going to start using these assets and some of these rides to deliver them to other parks that are under their group so that they can have them and sort of renovate them and make them a brand new ride so it doesn't go to waste. But we'll get onto what that means for some rides later on. They then send out a heartfelt thank you to all the team members, contractors, suppliers, and those that loyally supported them, and finished it off saying thank you for making Oakwood Theme Park a special place. Genuinely is really upsetting. I mean, we kind of expected this anyway because, well, they thought it was going to close in 2008. So it's somehow survived an extra 17 years. But still, amongst the park's impact, having things like Waterfall and Megafobia never reopen again is going to be so sad. But what does this closure mean for all of the rides and attractions in the park? Surely we can't just see them sit there and rot. This isn't Merlin. And I'm going to speculate and make some predictions, and they might actually be quite accurate, considering the other day I made a video talking about the fact that Oakwood is removing Bounce, and I said I don't think it's got long left. 1 or 2 seasons maximum. It didn't even get 1 more season, but I predicted that. So don't take what I say with a pinch of salt. Take it with an entire vat of salt. So first of all, there's quite a few different smaller attractions, such as like a water slide or even like the Alpine bobsled ride. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. If any of them do, it would be the Alpine ride, but other than that, I don't think the slides will be removed. I think they're just going to sit there and actually rot. Or maybe they might implode them like they did with King Dakar. They'll all be left for scrap. The smaller flat rides in the park, such as Bounce and even the pirate ship, those two have already been started to be craned out of the site, so God knows where they're going. Those could definitely be saved and maybe used as parts for manufacturers to use them on other rides at the Aspro parks. And when I say other parks, I basically just mean the 2 Walligator parks in France, because they're owned by the same people, and those are the only theme parks other than Oakwood under their brand. There was also Drenched, the huge water ride that had an almost vertical drop and used to plummet riders into a very big wave at the bottom of the drop, and it looked incredible. And as much as we've already seen photos of it being deconstructed, I actually have a slight feeling that that is going to another park too. When we last visited, we were told by the park after asking about Drenched, is it going to come back? They said that the boat was with Intamin and it was being refurbished. So I think it's going to come back at some point. If it does go over to one of those French theme parks, then instead of Drenched, they can call it
Trempé. J'adore faire des montagnes russes appelées Rita.
Or you never know, another UK theme park could purchase it, or another theme park around the world could. Vertigo, the massive sky coaster as they call it, I did that once, and I don't think I'll ever go on it again. That is obviously quite a generic attraction. It's not like the most major thing in the world, and you could probably build it quite easily. Again, I think that's getting scrapped. This monstrosity right here, I really do hope gets thrown in the biggest inferno possible. No, I don't mean the one at Thorpe Park. Get that thing out of this solar system. A ride that doesn't even have inversions, has over-the-shoulder restraint, and is a Pinfari. Not a good combo. The log roller coaster that runs in the trees and is called Treetops is a very classic, basic layout Sierra Tivoli roller coaster, and it looks quite nice, you know. The train was really cool. I don't know if anywhere would want to take that, even the places that Aspro Parks own. And then you get to the 2 big hitters, Speed and Megafobia, which in my opinion, one might suffer a really good fate, and the other one, not so much. I reckon Speed, their Gerstlauer Eurofighter, will be sold off to another park in the world, whether it be, I don't know, a UK one. Maybe Flamingo Land would take it, or maybe that's what Southport Pleasureland's Adventure Coast Southport, their new coaster. That's what it might be. It just might be Speed. Or they might just ship it off to, again, Walligator, if they really want that. One has a Vekoma Boomerang and the other has a B&M invert, so I think it wouldn't be out of place going upside down at one of those parks. But yeah, I hope it has a good home, as I do for Megaphobia, but it's very unlikely. Their CCI wooden roller coaster, and it's an absolutely iconic one. The fact it sits over the side of the lake and it just looks amazing off-ride. The layout as well, some of the airtime that you get and just some of the turns are just so quick-paced, it's amazing. And you can sort of tell it was going to be a good layout when John Wardley was involved in the design process of it. But that first drop and the retrack sections as well that were done, where it sort of does a double down and then a double up, incredible stuff. And yeah, it's a wooden roller coaster. It's been there for ages now. There is no way, unless this thing reopens in the exact same spot, they would try and relocate it elsewhere. I mean, if somehow they could relocate it, there's a lovely space right here at Thorpe Park or there's even a lovely space over here at Alton Towers. But yeah, I highly doubt that it'll ever get relocated, and I think it will just be scrapped and completely destroyed, which is so upsetting. I'm very grateful for the fact that when I last went to Oakwood, I managed to purchase an entire piece of the track from Megaphobia. At first I wasn't so sure on it, but now I'm so glad I made that purchase. And I was going to anyway, but I will be renovating that piece and giving it a proper worshipping place. I'm going to sit there and just in a separate video in the future, so subscribe so you don't miss that. But yeah, sadly, as much as I own one piece, I can't build it all. And I really wish I could. If someone from Astro Parks is watching, let me buy the whole coaster. But yeah, there's just so many memories of Megaphobia and just that place in general. More recently, going on Megaphobia with just a face full of paint with a train to ourselves. Trying to ride Megaphobia facing backwards on the back row. That was just so stupid, but I loved it. Having an insane amount of goes on Waterfall, their little water slide thing, and just trying to keep on the water and failing many times. Even though the first time I ever did it, I actually got across fine, so I don't know what happened past then. Managing to capsize the raft that we were on the Python water slide, which eventually ended up in my camera being full of water and dying. Like said, doing Vertigo, the sky coaster for the first time, that was crazy, and you know what? I still wouldn't give it a go again. And just the lovely weather in that park. It wasn't the nicest park or the best park I've ever been to, but some of the rides and the days out you had there were so much fun. They were elite. I pray to the Lord that this doesn't happen for any more UK theme parks this year or ever, because I miss Camelot and Oakwood now. But yes, rest in peace, Oakwood Theme Park.